1, 2, is this on?
1, 2, is this on?
Guys, it's been so long since I've actually been like a YouTuber. I've been more of a wrestling interviewer for the last few years now. Ever since COVID, I kind of shifted my whole channel to just wrestling interviews. So I'm gonna start uploading weekly videos, weekly, daily, I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go along. On top of the wrestling interviews as well, I'm actually talking to the new NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion, Joe Alonzo, Kenzie Mitchell, and Simon Miller tomorrow. So there'll be plenty of interviews coming soon. But with all that said, you guys asked a lot of questions on social media. Since WWE's in a new era, I want to be a new era too. How is it that you continue to be the greatest wrestling YouTuber on the planet? I don't. If I want to be the greatest wrestling YouTuber on the planet, I would have to legally change my name to Santi Zap, because that man's killing the game right now. What's been your top 5 surprises at WrestleMania? Luckily got to go to a covered press. It was amazing. The free food went crazy. The glizzies were gobbled. Crazy to say. Usos match not being as great as I wanted it to be. Damian Priest cashing in. I'll say the Shield music hitting. I'll say the Undertaker, because I was expecting Steve Austin. I will say Cody winning the title, because as much as I knew he was going to, it's like you can never bet against Roman Reigns, dog. Like, he's Roman Reigns, yo. And then Dave Meltzer gave it 4.75 stars. Like, bro, is you tripping? What is you sipping? Like, what is wrong with you? When are you coming to Los Angeles? When I have a reason to go to Los Angeles. Did WWE make the right choice by choosing Taker to take out the final boss? Or would Steve Austin been a better pick? Steve Austin would have been a better pick, but apparently he didn't want to because they weren't giving him the right dough. Where do you see Jacob Fatu and Julia going in WWE in the next couple years? To the absolute tippy top? Jacob Fatu is the most athletic man I've probably ever seen in my life. A man stacked and jacked like him, to be that agile is crazy. And Julia, I'm not gonna act like I'm like super familiar with Stardom. I don't watch a lot of Stardom, honestly, but from what I've seen, she goated. So I'm excited to watch the ride and see her rise in the WWE. So it should be fun. Jacob will be a very strong Intercontinental Champion. Always could be world heavyweight. I'd love to see a great NXT women's title reign out of her, and we will go from there. As a powerlifter, who is the one guy on the WWE roster, main or NXT, that you would love to work out with? Omos, duh. What kind of question is that? Who do you think the Money in the Bank winners will be? So Omos wins the men's, right? He doesn't even need the ladder. He just grabs it. And then for the women's, Omos probably wins that one too. So Omos in a wig for the women's, and then Omos in general. Do you think we'll ever see another title reigns like Roman's? Why or why not? No. Because that is so long of a reign that it actually was started in the Vince McMahon era and then went to the Triple H era. Triple H loves some long title reigns, but I don't think we're ever gonna see something like that ever again. Because who can beat that? Because we have such short attention spans nowadays. People are getting tired of him. And I love Roman Reigns. So there's no way. Unless Omos wins it. Omos is the world heavyweight champion for like 6 years. I can get behind that, yeah, for sure. How was the violent scrap with AJ Styles and LA Knight during media day? Yo, so I was like second in line to interview LA Knight. Like I was maybe within 6 minutes of interviewing LA Knight. And then Brody decides to throw a chair at LA. Then LA beats that boy's. And then bada boom, LA Knight never comes back. I'm like, okay, well, they did the brawl. LA Knight will come back with like a new t-shirt or whatever, like type deal. And then he just never comes back. So I stand there, and I'm really not, I am complaining. I appreciate the opportunity and the access WWE gave, obviously. For another 30 minutes thinking LA Knight's coming back, I don't need to jump in Jade Cargill's line. I'm gonna wait for LA Knight. That's a Maryland guy, I'm a DC guy, that's what's up. He never comes back, ever. You know what they give us? I'm not trying to complain, but I am complaining. They give us Vic Joseph. I love Vic Joseph. I think he's mad talented. But if you're saying you went from LA Knight to the NXT commentator, what? I saw Bailey walk by. I love Vic Joseph though. It's nothing against him. It's just like LA Knight's on the WrestleMania card and there's a lot more to talk about versus Vic Joseph, who's a commentator, who's a great commentator, who's amazing at his job. You know what I'm trying to say? Like there's LA Knight, there's Vic Joseph. Like it is what it is. Who is the right person to dethrone Cody Rhodes? Omos. What kind of question? I think Omos has to be the answer, right? Like Cody ended racism. I actually got a lot more questions than I was expecting, so thank you very much again. If you haven't subscribed at this moment, go ahead and do it. 33,000 strong. Let's get to 35 by SummerSlam. I think that's possible. Let's do it. Who would you rather eat a glizzy with, Omos or John Cena? I'm trying to think, what does a table conversation look like as we both ingest glizzies? There's a lot to talk about with John Cena. John Cena looks like he likes to make glizzy jokes. Do you think you'll ever have a wrestling match? If so, who would you like to be your first opponent? I do think I'll have a wrestling match at some point. Who would I like to face? If I'm gonna face anyone, I want the top of the food chain. I don't want no bottom boy. Because if I'm gonna do it, you gotta pay me. And I'm only looking to make top dollar, all right? What keeps you motivated to make content? The views. I mean, honestly, the views, the connections, just seeing myself grow. I've been very fortunate that a lot of great names in the media space have continuously and they don't need to, and they graciously co-signed me, you know, being a future contender, you know, one of the big guys in the media space. So it's greatly appreciated. Guys like Sean Ross Sapp, Seahawk, Chris Van Vliet, they've all been very helpful. Denise Salcedo, they've all been very nice, helpful, motivating, etc. I do feel like I have the potential to grow into a position like theirs one day, and all credit to them, because I see how hard they work firsthand, meeting them in person, actually seeing their grind. They all work incredibly hard. Not just some of the hardest working people, they're some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. So my hat is always off to them, but this hat stays on my head, you feel? What is your friendship with AJ Francis? So I did an interview with AJ Top Dollar down in his house in Orlando, and he's like the nicest guy, man. I know everyone online likes to talk crap about AJ. He's just a cool dude. Like, I've hung out with him enough times to just be able to like honestly tell you, he's a cool guy, cool dude. He has a giant dog named Gunner. Maybe without the hard R, it's an A. He has a lot of Prime in his refrigerator that I drank a lot of. He didn't notice. He probably has noticed since. Sorry. And then we did an interview at like 4 a.m. in the morning, like 3 hours before I had to catch a flight. And he just, you know, gave me a lot of information about what was going on with him and WWE, how he got released. What he's doing now in TNA is great. What he's been doing on Independence is great. You will never catch me saying a bad word about AJ Francis. I think he's dope. Top 5 pay-per-views of all time. Oh my God. WrestleMania 26 is my favorite. Great Balls of Fire, because the name funny. WrestleMania 40 Night 2, I'm biased, recent bias. AEW Double or Nothing 2019. I mean, that's historic. Last pay-per-view I just really liked. Like, I just really like, I like that. I'm gonna go with Over the Limit 2012. Punk and Bryan had that title match, and that put me on to watching Ring of Honor, put me on to watching TNA, put me on to watching New Japan, etc, etc, etc. I did not realize there was wrestling outside of the world of WWE until I saw those dudes kill it. And final question, which I think is honestly the best one. Which wrestler were you nervous on interviewing with? Pretty much anyone that I like watched as a child is what I always get nervous about. So like interviewing Kofi Kingston or Rey Mysterio, those kind of guys are the ones that got me nervous. Jeff Hardy got me nervous. Matt Hardy got me nervous, because these are guys I like grew up watching, you know. It's different. It's one thing watching them now, because like I feel like I can kind of humanize them a little bit in my mind. When it's like guys I grew up watching, I'm like, you are a superstar, you are a hero. So trying to interview you is like, oh my God, this is like heart palpitation kind of energy. I've interviewed Bret Hart. I didn't grow up watching Bret Hart. So for me, it's like, like cool, I guess. I got to ask Shawn Michaels a question during the NXT Stand and Deliver like scrum, I guess. And just trying to get words out, which I did, but trying to get words out, I'm like, yo, you're Shawn Michaels, dog. Like, you're Shawn Michaels, dog. Guys that I now watch since I was like a teenager up until being 24 right now. Currently, I don't get nervous about them. I just respect you so much. I just want to dap you up and say like, good job. Guys, that was the Q&A. I really appreciate all the questions, man, for real. I'm really happy to get back into this space of like actually creating. There's so much life going on for me right now. I just want a little creative outlet, so I want to make more videos. And thank you again for giving me this opportunity to make more content. My name is Malcolm. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next one. How do I end these? Subscribe? Subscribe. That's a throwback, right? I don't know. See you. Bye.